Well, it's that time of year again when all you heathens decide to go ahead and skip over Thanksgiving and go straight into the Christmas season like it's nothing. We're starting to get into that time frame when a lot of Christmas movies are about to hit streaming and theaters. So, what better way to start that season off than with a Tyler Perry movie? The movie we're going to be talking about today is the new Amazon Prime film Finding Joy. The movie revolves around Joy, a New York designer who finds herself unexpected in love. She gets invited out to Colorado where she gets the bombshell news of her life that she's not really expecting. So once she gets that devastating news, she decides to hitch a ride back home. However, there's a huge issue with that, and that is we got a huge snowstorm coming in, and so she decides to just drive back there in weather conditions. And on her way back home, she accidentally slips and slides into a lake where she gets rescued by a mountain man. Now, I like and appreciate Tyler Perry for what he has been able to do with his career and love the fact that he's able to have his own studio lot where he's able to make the movies that he wants to make for him and his friends. And that's something that I'm able to respect him for that. He knows how to hustle. He knows exactly how to get these movies out the way that he wants. And I will always love and appreciate that about him. However, we are getting into that window frame with Tyler Perry movies where they're not good as his old stuff used to be. And so I'm kind of waiting for that thing, that one movie that is kind of able to bring out the best in Tyler Perry. For starters, I am a big fan of rom coms, at least I'm in the minority that will probably admit that. But I do like a really nice rom com because if you are able to have a really nice rom com for 90 minutes, then you will make me believe in love and that there is somebody special out there for everybody, including me. But that's only if you're able to capture that magic. If you're not, then you're going to have a huge cloud looming all over you and hate life for the next couple of days until the next rom com comes out. So, seeing how this is right in my wheelhouse, I was hoping that this movie would be kind of my up my alley, kind of fill me up with the little fuzzies in here. And I will say this, it is a better made movie. I think the cinematography for this movie is great. The way that he's able to capture the snowy landscapes of Colorado is something that not only I liked, but I also hated because it's a gentle reminder that that is coming soon, and I really hate that. The cinematography for this movie is beautiful to see, and I do think that this movie at least is a better constructed movie, especially since this is your typical rom-com. You know exactly the story beats that this movie is going to be taking. It doesn't try to reinvent the rom-com genre. It just knows exactly what it's trying to be, and the building blocks for that is there with a great lead in Joy, played by Shannon Thornton. She holds this movie together the very best that she possibly can. And not only is she oozing with a lot of beauty, but she's also oozing with a lot of charisma. And I think she does the very best that she possibly can with the material that she is given. And I think Tyler Perry does direct her very well. The issue with this movie is comes down to the script. Tyler Perry has a keen eye for directing, and I think that is where his strongest suits really lie. When it comes down to the writing, that is when he needs to hand the pen off to somebody else and have somebody write the films and have him direct it. Have him come up with the story and the outline for what he wants this movie to be, but then hand the pen over to somebody else so they can be able to take that story and write something at least watchable, because this movie feels like it was written by somebody that has never had any kind of human contact with anybody, and the dialogue in this movie is stale, pale, and just awful to get through. But also, it comes down to the characters. Aside from Joy, there's really nobody that you don't really care about. The guy that she has a crush on is Colton, played by Aaron O'Connell. From the moment that he showed up, he just gave me a vibe that he belongs on a Hallmark Channel movie. And so I dug into this actor because I've never seen him in anything. And not shocked and surprised, but he's done a couple of Hallmark movies. So the vibe was right for this kind of movie. This is a Hallmark feeling type of movie, and so he fits perfectly in here, but there's nothing really to this character. You don't really get to know much about him. Besides the fact that he invited Joy out to meet his parents because he wants her to be his best man at his wedding, which is the news that nobody wants to hear, especially if you have a crush on somebody. So that's kind of the thing that sends Joy on a bit of a spiral to get the hell out of Dodge. But also the friends that Joy has, they're painfully awful, and I have no idea why this character would hang out with them because they are the biggest pieces of shit that I've seen probably all year or in the past 5 years. There's really nothing to them. They're a bunch of stoners that just don't do much. The only thing they get to do in this movie is try to help locate Colton because after Joy goes into the lake, they lose contact with her. And so the only way they're able to find some kind of contact with her is through Colton. And so a lot of this movie is just going back to them smoking a joint and trying to figure out, trying to find a way to get connected to Joy. And that's really the only thing they have to offer in this movie. Then once you get to the ending, they do something so fucking stupid that it makes me question Joy as a character. Her character doesn't feel like she would want to hang out with these characters because they're really nothing. They don't feel like they are friends. You don't feel that vibe, and that's something that you kind of need them to feel like. You also have Ridge, who is the mountain man that saves Joy. And I think for the most part, Tausen, hard to pronounce the last name, Fola, I think is okay in what he is given. He's a bit of a dick to Joy, and it kind of makes me hate him to the point when these two start to build a connection. I was not able to get on board with that relationship because it just felt like it came out of nowhere. There's no real big lead up. You don't really care about this guy because he's just a dick, and you kind of get that because he's kind of secluded in the mountains, and so he doesn't have any technology around him. He's just him. He's just out there by himself, and so when Joy comes in and starts to annoy the living hell out of him, he starts to be a little bit more of a dick, and so you kind of start to peel the layers a little bit more as the movie goes on. But by the time that they do that, you don't really care about these two getting together, and everything felt rushed like it did with Medea Destination Wedding. Everything feels like it's trying to wrap up so fast that they don't really let the characters breathe a little bit more. You don't really get invested in these characters, at least just for Joy. You kind of care about her and you kind of care about the situation that she is in, but overall it's a movie that if you're somebody that is into the Hallmark movies, I think this is going to work for you a lot more than it's going to work for me. It was just a struggle to get through this movie because even though this movie is about an hour 47 minutes, I think you could have used a little bit more time, if that makes sense, about 5 to 10 minutes more to flesh out the characters, or have somebody write the movie and make it a little bit better because I think that is what would have made the movie a little bit more stronger. It's a paint by numbers movie that you've seen many times before. It works better for the Hallmark Channel audience. I think that is who's going to be getting a bit of a kick out of this movie, but overall, it's just a movie that should have been stronger. Just didn't really like it all that much. But those are my thoughts on Finding Joy. Did you guys find joy in this movie if you have checked it out? I didn't, but maybe you guys did. So let me know down in the comments if you did like it, or let me know what is your favorite Christmas movie.